Hello, Dutchtown family, and welcome back to another moment with your IEF. Today, we are going to talk about the digital review games in your classroom as we are now preparing for testing season here at Dutchtown. Whether it be our EOCs, our final exams, I just want to implement some or give you some ways that you can implement gaming in your classroom to increase your student engagement, but also look at some of that material that you might have taught in August and you haven't revisited in a while, so it gives students a chance to go back and to look at that material. So let's get into it. Why use digital review games in your classroom? Well, it increases student engagement and it's an interactive way of learning. It also gives immediate feedback and it appeals to different learning styles. Now, we know that every student is not a gamer, but this is a way that you can try to speak to some of the learning styles that are within your classrooms to make sure that students are grasping the information. So some types of review games that you can do are the quiz-based review games. So that's like Kahoot and Quizzes. If you're not familiar with any of these, it's okay because I'm going to link all of these for you so that you're able to go in and actually see it from a teacher standpoint. But just to go back to the couple of review games and the different ones that you can use, we have quiz-based. Kahoot Quizzes. Those are really like formative assessments because students can kind of see the leaders, they can see their percentages, and it's a really quick way to get data on the spot. So that is definitely one way that you can use your review games. Another type is the flashcard tools. Quizlet Live are both are Quizlet and Quizlet Live go together, but it's very much about vocabulary acquisition, getting students to kind of see that vocabulary over and over again. They also can play in teams in different ways like that, but it's definitely definition based, and you can also pre-filter that as well. The interactive simulations or puzzles would be like GimKit and Bookit. These are games that have different modes for students to use. You can tailor the questions. It can probably be around by DOK 1 to DOK 3, just depending on how you're using it. Of course, you can, like I said, you can also upload those questions of what you want students to go back and review, and they see it repetitively. But these are very similar to the games that they play outside of school. So, what better way to use it with your actual content? And then last but not least is those team-based review games like Jeopardy or a bingo game that allows students to all collaborate together. It fosters some type of competition, but you can base those off of different templates as well. So the benefits of review games for students, it increases their active participation. It reduces test anxiety, and the reducing the test anxiety really is because students are getting familiar with the content. They're having a chance to go back, review, and reassess themselves, so that when they go to look at the test, they have an idea of what to expect that's going to be on the test. Whether it's just topic based, they have a chance to go back and reteach themselves or really just go back through that information that has already been taught, that allows them to be familiar with what to expect on your test. It also creates collaboration, it allows students to work together, and it allows them to just have some fun. So that's one way that it is going to benefit your students. But for teachers, it gives us a way to look at the formative assessments in real time. You can look and see where students are struggling, what questions were missed the most. Pretty much all of these platforms give you a summary of how the game went and gives you that data so that you can go back and assess that, which allows you to get that quick feedback to either re-engage students or enrich whatever it is that you saw within the game. It can be content specific. You can create your own, but you also can make sure that it is specific to whatever it is that you are teaching. So you want to make sure those questions are filtered just either from you or from other question sets that you might choose from. So one thing about gaming is you also want to choose a game that is relevant for your students. And you're going to see a lot of games that you potentially can use, but you want to make sure if it is level appropriate for your 12th graders or if it's level appropriate for your ninth graders or if it's in the middle and it can be done with whoever. So just make sure that it is relevant for your students. So you want to consider the subject and the grade level because one game might work for math, but another game might not. So that just might be something that you want to look for. Align the game format with the learning objectives. So it is, if it's something that you're wanting students to make sure they can recognize, whether that be done in different sequences or orders. So that might be something or part of your learning objective that you want students to be able to see. So you can filter that into the game as well. And then last but not least, make sure you take into consideration student performances and tech access. Majority of the games that I have in this presentation all can be accessed through your Henry County's devices. So students are able to play those without it being blocked or not accessible to them. So just a couple of tips. Set a clear goals for your activity. Make sure you know what you want students to get out of it. Build the activity so that it is relevant for the learning and the goals of what you want to see come out of your classroom. Keep the game short and focused. About 15 to 20 minutes is a really good time to go through the review material. 5 minutes really doesn't give you too much, but allowing them to do it, you can pretty much set how long students have to do it. So just take that in consideration and make sure it's short, make sure it's focused, and you know what the outcome you want it to be. Rotate the game types. Like I mentioned earlier, game sites like GimKit allow you to do so many different modes where you can have students either working individually or you can have them working as a team. You want to switch it up. You want to be able to balance the competition with collaboration. Are we going to compete against each other, or are we going to work together to try to strive to get that goal? So there's so many different ways that you can introduce the games and filter the games so that it is increasing engagement, but it's allowing them to see several different modes into one. So some problems that you might have as a hiccup when it comes down to using the digital games in your classrooms is the limit with tech devices, not having a charger, not having the Chromebooks available for our students. So that could be an issue. So always plan for something that students can do outside of the digital review game while other students might be doing the digital review game. You also might set up these in stations. Maybe you have one station that is working on a digital review game, another station that is working on a card sort, another station that is doing small group. So just take those in consideration of how you can implement digital review into your classroom. Stations is a great way to do it, especially if you're worried about students and their technology. So just keep that in mind. Students are getting very competitive when it comes down to certain games because they want to win. The love of winning is definitely a thing. So just make sure you're incorporating some team-based games to help filter that competitive nature that you might see in the classroom. Also, create your own. When I say create your own, this template that you're seeing right now is a template from Canva that you can go in and add questions and filter it for students. You can use also websites like Slides Carnival that you can actually build a Jeopardy game that already has the animations already built into it when you download it. All you have to do is go in and change the wording and make sure that it's content specific for you. But it gives you a base template to go ahead and start off of, and it's still technically considered digital because you're doing it on a digital platform. If you have any concerns about how to use it or to create it, please feel free to ask me and I will be glad to help you with creating your digital review. So here are some of the digital review games that I mentioned within this video. You have Kahoot, Quizlet Live, Blooket, GimKit, Quizizz. All of them I'm very familiar with, and I would love to not only see you implement it in your classroom, but I would love to also help you build those platforms so that you can start allowing students to use them as well. They all start off free. So you can use a lot of them with just the free platform. If you find that you really, really, really love one of these and you want to purchase it, that is your will. So if it's something that you just really like and you find that your students are doing really well with it and it's something that's affordable for you, I suggest that you go for it. But take a chance to just look and see how you like each website, and then how you're going to implement it in your classroom. Those are all things to think about. Well, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully, this was a quick snippet of what you can be doing when your digital review games are happening within your classroom. I have also linked some more embedded videos that will describe a little bit more about the platforms that I've already presented to you. But take this into consideration in this testing season, and I wish you the best. Have a great rest of your day, Dutchtown, and I'll see you around.